In our first story, angry students of the St. John's Senior High Technical School in Nandom in the Upper West region have set the school's administration block on fire. The students were angered by the decision of school authorities not to allow most of them sit for next year's WASSCE. The students' action was triggered by a caveat by the school head that only students who were able to pass the mock examinations being organized by the school will be allowed to sit for the main WASSCE examinations. This is in view of their previous poor performances. I have been joined online now by Mohammed Al Hassan. He is a reporter with Freed FM in Nandom, and he is joining us to give us an update of what is going on right now at the St. John's Technical School. Hello, Mohammed.
Hello, Gladys. Good afternoon.
Hello, Mohammed. We spoke with you at around 10. What update do you have now?
Right now, CAM has been restored in the school, and the first years and second years are in the school. But the third years are nowhere to be found as we speak. I've been able to contact the station officer, Ghana Fire Service, Nandom Station, and he's here with me. I would like to share something with you.
All right.
Yeah, good afternoon.
Yes, so what exactly happened?
Yeah, it was around 10 p.m. yesterday that we received a call that there was a fire outbreak at Nandam Vocational School. So our men were dispatched to the scene. On our way, we realized that most of the routes that were accessible to the school were barricaded. But we managed our way to get to the fire. And when we got to the fire, it was very intense. Getting access to the fire was a problem, but we were able to find our way to bring the fire under control. Yeah. Hello?
Right. Hello, sir.
Yes, sir. Yes, madam.
Yes, so what are the school authorities saying? You are one of them. What exactly are you going to do? What's the way forward?
Yeah, the way forward, this one will start with the school authorities, which I'm not privy to. Yeah, but I believe today or tomorrow the DASEC will be meeting and they may come up with some proposal. But as of now, I don't know what is going to happen.
The reason given that the students were angered by the law passed that if you fail the mock exams, you will not write the WASSCE. Is that enough to anger students to that point of setting the administration block on fire?
But that is where I cannot delve in because we were only called to go and extinguish fire. So I think this question probably the police may be in the good state to answer because they are investigating the issue.
Okay, all right. Thank you so much, sir. Let me get back to our correspondent, Mohammed.
Correspondent Mohammed.
Hello, Gladys.
Yes, Mohammed. So I was trying to find out the reason given that the students were angered because they won't be allowed to write WASSCE if they fail the mock exams. Is that enough to anger them that much to do that then?
Well, we are still to find out more information if that is the only reason. But from what we picked, that some of the students were having receipts. We're having receipts. We don't know what receipts they were holding, whether it's about payment of fees or something like that. So I still delve into the issue to find out what receipts they were holding, if it has to do with some monetary issues with the school.
But you haven't been able to find out that?
We haven't been able to find out anything for now.
The Form 3 students, where are they?
Okay.
No,
Hello?
I'm asking the final year students, where have they gone to?
Final year students.
Where have they gone to? You said it's only first years and second years.
For now, we don't know where they are because the school is open. We don't know whether they are with friends or they've gone back to their various houses. But as I'm now in the school, it's not going to find any Form 3 students to talk to get more information.
Not even one of them?
Not even one of them. Not even one of them, obviously.
And the school authorities still do not want to talk?
No, they don't want to. They are still busy now trying to put things in order before they will talk to us.
All right, I see. Mohammed, thank you. Do your best to get them to talk or find out whatever information there may be. Why students will be angered so much to set their administration block ablaze just because if you failed a mock examination by the school, you will not take part in your external examinations, that is WASSCE. Meanwhile, wrong perceptions about the capabilities of persons living with disability and lack of vocational and employable skills have been identified as some of the key factors that lead to their exclusion in national development. These are part of findings of a study commissioned by the National Commission for Civic Education. The report of the findings was launched in Accra today.
By no fault of theirs, they are disabled, and all they need is the support of family and society. But sadly, people with disabilities have had to deal with the chilling treatment of discrimination and stigmatization. The National Commission on Civic Education, the state institution mandated to champion the cause of persons with disabilities, has for a long time turned a blind eye to these challenges. To make it worse, policymakers have over the years failed to make public facilities and state transport systems disability-friendly.
To make good our promise to all Ghanaians at the dawn of our independence, that each may be granted a fair measure of the freedom that was fought for to pursue their goals and aspirations, and the justice that was fought for in equitable access to and participation in the riches and opportunities that the Republic of Ghana has to offer. On this note, I declare the National Commission for Civic Education Research Report on Persons with Disability duly launched. Thank you.
But some persons with disabilities feel the discrimination and stigmatization against them has gone on for far too long.
That's another issue. We are not getting much support, and we use this medium to appeal to people who are philanthropic, people that can, help us. We have a whole lot doing here, but because we don't have what it takes, so sometimes it limits our productions.
However, Nana Oyelitha says she is hopeful the current situation would be fixed as government puts in place measures for more inclusion of disabled persons in all spheres of national development.
The key thing is that in accordance with the Disability Act, by 2016, all existing public facilities will have to be disability friendly. And the National Council on Persons with Disability under the Ministry of Gender, Children and Social Protection is going to monitor and supervise this process. We're asking the local authorities who grant approvals of plans, building permits, to make sure that all building permits are disability compliant, that the persons with disability are able to use public facilities and access public facilities.
Center manager of the Accra Rehabilitation Center for People with Disability says the quota his outfit receives from government is woefully inadequate. It calls for a change in direction.
I'm aware that most of them are not aware that there is a 2% in the District Assembly Common Fund for activities and programs of persons with disability. They are not aware. So for me, what I'll say is that this 2% should be increased, looking at the large numbers of persons with disabilities who need to access this fund to better their lot. So this 2% is good, but I think if it's increased, it will help do better for persons.
You're watching News Today. In our business stories, government has appointed PricewaterhouseCoopers Ghana as the transaction advisor to help in the transfer of government's interest in the Ghana National Gas Company to Ghana Petroleum Corporation. This was announced by the Finance Ministry in a statement signed by the Minister Seth Terkper. The minister had hinted of this move earlier when he presented the 2015 budget statement to Parliament in November. According to Seth Terkper, the move will consolidate the upstream and midstream gas subsector under a single institution to ensure efficiency, increased value creation, and sustainable national development outcomes. PricewaterhouseCoopers will also assist GNPC with the successful and effective integration of GNGC. When the deal is finally completed, Ghana Gas will run as a subsidiary of GNPC. Explaining the rationale behind the decision to Parliament, the Finance Minister said this will make it possible to ease the conditions that investors impose for the national gas aggregator and start financing projects in the oil and gas enclave immediately. Chief Executive Officer of the VRA, Kirk Kofi, says load shedding will not significantly improve power supply, although 2 units from Takoradi are already receiving about 50 million standard cubic feet of gas from the gas project in Etiabu. He says the gas has only come to improve the reliability of the plants, adding that the current low water levels of the Akonsombo hydroelectric power is the cause of the erratic supply of power.
That we're getting gas from Ghana Gas, and all VRA's 2 units today, as we speak, are running full blast with Ghana Gas, and I think that's something that we as people of this nation should be happy with. They give you around 50 million standard cubic feet, and now we're running our 2 gas turbines in Takoradi right now. So the gas is only replacing crude oil with gas. So that's not adding capacity. But of course, the positive side is that it's improving on reliability of the plant. When they are running on gas, they are more reliable. But then we are shedding load today, partly because we have to cut back on generation from Akonsombo, where we haven't had good inflow for the past 2 years. That is that's the major reason. So even though we have 6 machines in Akonsombo, we can run only 4. Okay? Because if we don't do that, the water level will go down. We are around 249 now. Wind is available, but we can only run during a peak. So these are the challenges we have, which people should appreciate and understand. That is not because of anything. Even though the load is growing very high in this country. And it's good for us for the load to be growing over 10%. That is a good indication of economic development. We're also trying to add on generation. As we speak right now, we are adding all these new generations. Right now, POM is going to come online, T4 is going to come online. IPPs are also coming down. So there's so much we are doing in the sector to be able to add on the needed generation. It takes 4 years for you to add on a generation. So Ghanaians should be I wouldn't say patient, quite tolerant at this stage, because if you are blessed with a big hydro facility like we've been blessed by Akonsombo, there's a challenge when you go into a drought or you don't get a good inflow. One may ask, how come we haven't added all these generations? It takes money, and this is the process that we are doing.
The Volta River Authority has signed a $450 million loan facility from Synergy Ghana Limited and the African Export-Import Bank. The transactions is to help the VRA restructure its balance sheet and improve their operations to boost their generational capacity.
The VRA received the first tranche of the facility, which is $150 million from Synergy and Afrexim Bank. Synergy and Afrexim Bank successfully raised the funds for the VRA to use for the operations and also to make them viable and competitive.
It is very clear that to all stakeholders that by now that the government alone cannot make the required investments to meet the energy demands of its people. The private sector is therefore stepping in as a very critical partner in the power sector. And in the power strategy paper I mentioned to you, Afrexim Bank is targeting supporting the private sector to play the role expected of it in the expanding African energy sector. It is imperative to note that the bank is presently considering some deals in the Ghanaian power sector, especially for the private sector, amounting to over $400 million.
For Synergy, the $150 million is a medium-term loan and will not be added to VRA's debt stock.
The $150 million is essentially a medium-term loan. We are not adding to VRA's debt stock. All we are doing is that we are taking all their short-term commitments on the balance sheet and converting it into 5 years. And that's what Afrexim has come in to support readily. The reason is that it frees up, it gives VRA the capacity to do more. I mean, in terms of crude, in terms of other working capital needs that they require.
VRA appreciated the bank's gesture and said that the funds would go a long way to help them improve and sustain the operations for the next 5 to 7 years.
Ghana today is a lower middle income country where we cannot just get a soft loan like we used to get in the past. We're supposed to go into the market. So this is just an arrangement to see how best we can raise capital for our operation and also add on capacity. And we need capacity in the system. You are aware of what is happening here simply because hydro is come down. We need, we can meet the demand. Of course, if hydro were there, I'm sure we would have been able to meet the demand. So going forward, we need to go into the market, raise more facilities like this to add on the needed capacity in the country.
VRA will receive the remaining $300 million before the end of the year.
The 30th National Farmers Day celebration is going on currently. It's also in the Western region. It's under the theme, Eat What You Grow. My colleague Gifty Ando Apia, who is there currently, is joining us online to give us more updates as to how it's going. Hello, Gifty.
Hello, Gladys.
Are you enjoying the Farmers Day celebration?
Well, Gladys, let me just keep you up to speed as to what's happening over here.
Okay, go ahead.
We're still waiting for the president, whom you know has been engaged in a program back in Accra. He's not arrived yet, but the program has commenced some 30 minutes ago. And as I speak with you now, they started giving out some of the prizes. I'm sure these are minor prizes, and the major prizes will be giving us as when the president arrives here. I'm speaking to you live from the Shuyoko College of Education, which is where the program is being held. And this year's theme for the Farmers' Day celebration is, well, let's teach what we grow. That is the theme. There has been some awards already, as I spoke to you about this earlier on, but some people have also been speaking. Earlier on, we heard from John Juwonu. John Juwonu represents farmers and fishermen here in Ghana, and he has raised 5 key issues. And I can tell you for a fact, Gladys, that these issues always come in any of the farmers' that I have covered. He mentioned rural roads, the Bible states rural roads, and those that connect farming communities to their marketplaces. These roads are in Bar State, and he mentioned that he knows that some things are being done, but they want more to be done. He spoke about irrigation because you cannot depend now on the climate because of climate changes. You cannot depend so much on the pattern of the climate as we used to know. So they're calling for more irrigation programs. They're calling for warehouses, fish ponds, and landing beaches for the fishermen, of course. And they're also asking for financing for small-scale farmers. They spoke also about fertilizer subsidies, and you know we've had quite a number of issues about fertilizer subsidies. There have been allegations that they don't go to the right beneficiaries and everything, and so they're asking authorities to look into this particular issue. They're asking that the rural financing program should target outboard motors as well, which is, of course, for the farmers. So these are issues that he raised. And we have Dr. Opuni, who is head of the Cocoa Board, responding to some of these issues that they raised. He says that this year, and looking forward, because he says government is going to continue, there will be free fertilizers and free spraying for farmers. He spoke about them and some $500 million that have been set aside on the state of the cocoa road, which is the rural road that he spoke about. So that's what's been happening here. And as I speak with you now, President John Mahama has just arrived, and the place of come to a standstill, of course, to welcome the president. And I'm sure from here we will move on with the program.
All right, so Gifty, we'll get back to you later. Let's leave you to catch what you need to catch up with the president right now, so that when we get back to you later, you'll be able to give us more updates. Baba Tando is standing by with sports. Don't go away.